vackraste i världen. Du är som himlarna, som vindarna, som vågorna, som fåglarna, som blommorna på marken.
Because I'm looking at this light thing up there now, and I feel I can see some breaks in it, and I say the light comes through that, but that's not the shape of the light. It has no shape. But when it hits the form, it has a shape. Or the light that comes first, it's just light is there, it has no color, it has no shape, it has no form, but it hits the prism, and then all these rainbows come out. This prism is the mind. The consciousness, the pure consciousness, the light of it, it's got no color, but it hits the body mind, you know, and suddenly all these rainbows come. The rainbows, they owe their existence to that formless light, you know. And if you trace all those colors, it's like the blue is fighting with the red, and it says, oh, the orange don't go with the pink, or that. But if you trace them back, they come back to this colorless thing. In fact, this is a metaphor for the satsangs, in fact, because people are speaking on the basis of their differences, you know. But this is not my experience. My experience is this. Oh yes, but I see this thing and it looks blue to me. But yeah, but it's not quite blue, because when you come look, it's green now, and so on. You can stay like this. I say, okay, fine. Everybody moves earlier than the prism. Don't talk about the prism. Don't include the prism. But how can we not include? Because we are the prism. I am the prism. I say, yes, but something is aware of the prism. If there was no awareness of the prism, then you'd have to admit that, well, I'm the prism, because from here all the colors go. But if you are also aware of the prism, not just the rainbow, then your position must be elsewhere. Find out what that is. It's a simple thing. And maybe I think this kind of Atma Vaichara introspection, investigation, is created by God to somehow that, because in spirituality, either people are doing it because it gives them a sense of achievement and, you know, and a kind of pleasure, something to depend on, but to still maintain the duality. But when we come to the place of this self-inquiry, the ultimate discovery is a non-dual discovery. But it doesn't destroy duality. In fact, it makes duality very harmless and beautiful, in fact. And I think the people who have this idea that duality, oh, you know, there's no such thing as duality, and they hurt themselves. Because, you know, you still have to go to the dentist, and you owe him money, you don't have enough money. So that's all duality. Even to say there's non-duality, where do you get the reference for non-duality? It's from duality as well too. So it's just a kind of stupidness that you play in high school or maybe university, you know, mind or something. Because in life, if you pay attention to the life, which you cannot shut off life. Only thing is when you realize the source of it. When you realize and you are one with the source of it, it doesn't bite you. Why are we talking so much about life? Because it bites us. Why you talk about it? Because it's like it's something outside, and it bites you, and it kicks you, it hurts, and yet we are deeply attracted to the movement of life. And as I said, the mind really has a dilemma, because one thing is that somehow it hates change, but it totally loves life, and life is change. You see? The mind hates change, is afraid of change, but it loves life, but life is change. Then something there is not change. That in which life is seen. That in which what we call life is seen as movements, various movements, diverse movements. Movement and non-movement are both seen. Then that which perceives both movement and non-movement, but itself is unmoving and has no investment in any movement, that is the self, you see. And first we come to an intellectual grasping of that, and there's a pleasure in that. Oh my God, yes, of course. but it's not enough. It's like you found a beautiful picture of ice cream, but you can't taste it. You say, oh, I like this one. Look at that one. But you can't, it doesn't smell like ice cream, nothing is there. Now you have to really eat the ice cream. You found the one you want, but you don't yet have the taste. So how is this taste going to come now? You have to forget you. You have to go beyond the taster also. My feeling is that in one way it is the most natural and simple thing. What I'm talking about is the most simple thing, natural thing. In one way I can say we shouldn't even have to talk about it. The fact that we have to talk about it, the whole humanity should be embarrassed for talking about this thing, because it is really obvious, no? And yet it's the one thing that the humanity seems to be most afraid of discovering. And it's not a hellish discovery that underneath all of us we are all lizards, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's like underneath all of this there is the pure being, and you can discover it today. And of this we are totally afraid. And who is we then? Such the most perfect thing that we can discover, and underneath it we are afraid. If it was told to you, you know, well, ultimately when you discover who you are, you know, oh my God, that's the end of days. It is so terrible. It is so terrible. We think we are so good, but underneath we are just a bunch of cold-blooded lizards. We're good for nothing. Absolutely a waste of time. And as soon as this life blows up, that's the end of you, wiped clean. The hard disk is wiped clean. But you're not told that. You said, but underneath all of this, you're something is pure. And there's a pure joy of being. There's a pure joy of being. The effortless peace, the effortless joy. There's perfect harmony, unity is there. It is so naturally there that you don't even know the words about unity. You don't talk about unity and peace and joy. It's just there, it becomes natural, just like your breath is natural. And it is more intimate than your breath. So it's not intimate at all. What is one is not intimate. What is two can be said to be intimate. So all this we stand to know. And yet the greatest fear comes up in us. Biggest resistance. Like, oh, you know, no. Suspicion. You're not suspicious about this world, which is biting you, you know. We are suspicious of the thing setting you free. You know, it's like a frog or a snake crossing in the road, and a human being sees this one and sees that there's traffic coming, a big juggernaut is coming, and they pick up the snake to carry him to safety, and he bites the hand because he doesn't know that this thing is saving you. He bites him. So our mind is not something, the thing that comes to rescue you from sorrow. You bite that, it's not good, look at it. Who you think you are? Or a witch. And like this. So this is why I say it must be a spell. And that's not to excuse the human instrument, because the instrument cannot do anything by itself. It's the consciousness inside the instrument, acting with the instrument, creating a partnership, a relationship of mistrust and everything that creates all of this delusion. We cannot blame the innocent body. The body is perfectly innocent.
I feel it's so clear when you describe, like the other night, say, are you breathing? Did you ever breathe or digest or even think? All this is just the organs functioning.
Yeah, they are functioning by themselves. They don't even need your help. They says, hey, Mooji, can you help me? I'm struggling here. No, they are going by themselves. Everything is going by themselves. The sight in the morning, you get up, you don't have to kind of like, you know, click the eyes into place or something.
Yeah.
Everything is there already.
Said, how much do you pay for that? Which is worth so much more than any camera, anything.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're buying beautiful things, beautiful paintings, beautiful artwork. But without the eyes that can appreciate them, what the hell are they worth? Nothing at all. And you don't say, oh, thanks for my beautiful eyes, for the sight, you know? So we really are really soaked in, you know, marinating in stupidness.
Yeah.
And not seeing like that. But this is all to do with the sleep. As you're waking up, all our natural senses come back again. All the natural things are coming back again. So, and maybe that also, maybe underneath, I don't know, maybe someone was interviewing me yesterday and he was saying, we all know that we are perfect. And so I said, no, we don't. We don't. You may have a hunch, but you don't know. You know there's something bigger than how it appears to be at the moment. But you don't know. And the purpose of life is to know. Because he's saying, why is it that, if we're all perfect and we're all the one, why we have to go through all of this stuff? So the very fact that you think you have to go through it shows that you have separated from the truth. The fact is that we are that, but in the life you have to be conscious of that. If you're not conscious of that, then it's effectively and experientially, you're not that. You're something else. And I gave the example of growing up in Jamaica. And as children, I remember this particular encounter when some tourists came and said, you're living in such a beautiful country, it's like a beautiful country, you're living in paradise. You're living in paradise. Look, she was talking to her husband like this, But we don't know what she's talking about is paradise, I didn't even, actually it's probably the first time I heard the word paradise. But we knew that it was something nice because they were so happy, But we just didn't forget about it. And 5-6 years after I left Jamaica and lived in the UK and traveled a little bit, I had to go home. I went home after 6 years. And then somehow, I think from 1969 I came to the UK, and in 1975 I went back to Jamaica. And coming around this corner, there's a turn that you come around this corner, and then the whole bay area of Port Antonio comes, and it's beautiful island and sky and the hills, and it's beautiful. And then I turned around, I said, this is paradise. You see? Before, in your innocence, you don't know it is paradise. You don't know what it means. Because you're there. You are one with it. You don't know anything. And originally, we don't know anything. We think to know is a great thing. But the perfection doesn't know it is perfect. Sometimes I was watching on YouTube this the talent show. And sometimes you see someone come and they sing a song and they are so amazing, but the person is so humble and so naive about their own talent. And the people say, the judges say, you know what the greatest thing is, that you don't even know how great you are. Yeah? Because the ones who know how great they are. They know how great they are, or they think they know how great they are. But somebody come and they're a bit nervous and they sing, and there's just this amazing thing. Or some housewife come, she looks like she's coming from the market or something, and she come on stage and everybody's going, what's she doing here? And then, blah! Oh my God, what is this? That they don't know how great they are. And you can say that maybe the pure awareness self, the pure God doesn't know how great it is. It doesn't need to know. Such is the nature of innocence. It doesn't need to know how great. It simply is happy. It's happy in itself. But it needs to somehow manifest all of this. It cannot separate to have experience in reality, because it's always one. So the only way it can achieve it is to dream it. And it dreams the notion of otherness. All these bodies, and each one I'll put a me, the sense I in all of them. And they'll all know themselves as I, and they will all think they're different I's. Huh? I just gave an example just now. We're looking at this light. And if you imagine this paper shade, there's got lots of different holes, lots of different types of holes, some diamond holes, some round holes. And then suddenly the light goes on, and all of them, like each hole represents a different being. And we say, oh, I love this one. Oh, you're so beautiful. Look at your light is so beautiful. But it's one light behind all the different holes. And so somehow to have one light is manifesting as all these different holes. They all look like they're all sources within themselves. Each whole, each shape is acting like a source, but is sourced from the same one thing. You see, it's the only way. So this thing of coming, and then I could not appreciate somebody saying, "Oh, but you live in paradise." Or what is the for? Anyway, come on, kick the ball, George. Come on, and I forget about it. Then years later, to myself, see and feel for my own self, this is paradise. So in order to appreciate that, you have to go and see what is non-paradise, or what is something very, very different. And it looks like that is a very poor, it is a nice metaphor for the self. Like it has to somehow experience this dichotomy, it has to experience this diversity, this conflict, these tensions, belief and disbelief. It has to bring resistance, so it's fighting against itself almost, but it cannot fight against itself knowingly, only unknowingly. Then as knowledge begins to enter itself, you see, it loses the power of conflict, because it's being one. You see, you can't fight against yourself. I remember one time, you don't do it anymore, but I was telling him off sometime. I just catch him at doing something that's not right, and I tell him off. And one time he's hitting himself. Isn't it? Yeah, I was talking to him, what are you doing? What's all this craziness you're doing? And sorry. I said, stop it. Like that. That's not it. You're not really hitting yourself. Something is there that knows, that's watching this. You can't fool me. But don't do this stupid thing. The body is innocent. So if you're beating the body, you're not beating yourself, actually. You see. Nothing can beat the self. Something can only beat the self-image. It cannot beat the self. Growing into emptiness. Going from something into emptiness, into nothingness. That is the illusion of growth, of the evolutionary outcome, evolutionary path. Takes you to what you've always been. But the thing is, we don't value emptiness until you are there. And then it is priceless. We put value only on something. Only can put value on something that you can compare to another thing. Say, this is 2 rupees, this is 5, what you think? I think this one should be 7, because you have a quality. But how you put value on that which is beyond quality is priceless. Magyani knows this. But it doesn't have to go further with that knowledge. It's enough. It is so fresh and so thorough. It doesn't have to become deeper and deeper. No, it's not deeper and deeper for them. One touch and a whole depth, everything that is measurable is transcended already. You have to go deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper and deeper means you have to start going in your mind again. That creates measurement. Empty. Which part of emptiness is most empty? This is the power of the insight. Like that. All our conversations, they should turn out to be introspections, actually. True conversations. They should all reflect the self. If your conversation only reflect phenomenon, always going out, always leaving you somehow resting on some object, some intention, you finish your conversation, your communion is with some object. So it's always a relationship with something. What about if it threw you beyond all those relationships back into your stillness again? Then as it killed your senses, no, your senses are still vibrant, everything you can do. You can be talking about the deepest thing in the whole universe. And next minute somebody say, your eggs are ready. Oh yeah, okay, right, come on, let's go. And it creates no change in you at all. You don't say, listen, do you know how profound our talk was? How do you talk about eggs? You should be talking about scriptures. No, it doesn't matter. Because for the self, it doesn't make a difference, or some things are more near to self than others. In the pure mind, it can change gear any number of times.
I just read that the last words of Bhagavan was, did the peacock did you feed the peacocks? Because we often quote, he said, where can I go? I cannot go anywhere.
But he said that much earlier.
Yeah.
When they asked him, oh, please don't leave us. He said, but where can I go? I'm always here. But the thing is that then now they have to understand what that means. You see? They have to understand, what does he mean? He's always here. He's going? Where is he going to where he can speak? I'm always here. The last word, everybody. What's Bhagwan's last word? He's going to reveal something. Have you fed the peacocks? This is a bit, that's not anticlimax. What kind of last word?
In television stone.
Where's my bag? Where's my bag?
Where's my bag?
Is it yours?
No, it's Mooji's last words when he got on the train.
Where's my bag? Because the mind is always dressing up for some stage. You know, there's some people, they live their life by, they're like a production. They have some act they have in their mind, and they project it, and they want people to live out their stage performances somehow. Do you see this or not? You met people like this? They have already got a sort of way in which our relationship should work.
I think we all do in some way.
We all do it, no? So at least admit, no? So we have, you know, this is how it should be, this is what a man should be like, this is what a woman should be like, so on. Now let's do it. And then somebody doesn't want to play, I don't want to play this game, I'm not like that. You're not very good. You have to go find somebody else to play my play or something. And then the Jnani is not going to conform to that. Never feel that a day is not a good enough day to realize the truth. Sometimes you can go by it, well, you know, and after this, then tomorrow I'm going to do this. If tomorrow you're going to go and fix your car, today you're not going to realize yourself. Because your intention is already, tomorrow I'm going to fix the car, you know, already have to wait, maybe would have to wait until Tuesday. If you say, you know, I want to spend the next 6 months searching for the truth, it's going to take at least 6 months. Because you already fill up your psychic space with intention, I'm going to spend this time, then you really give the mind 6 months visa. You got 6 months, and you know he's not going to do it 5 months and 29 day. He's going last minute to close the door, you know, like this, and then say, oh shucks, sorry, you know, like this. We're playing this game with ourselves. We have to say sometimes we're playing this game with ourselves. And when someone like a Jnani remind us and expose our game, we feel very uncomfortable. Then you want to kill them. That's what happened with Jesus. Now they want to kill him because he simply speak the truth. He shows them, you know, ha 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 ha, look, you're doing this thing, but look what you're doing, ha ha. They don't like it at all. Very provocative.
Yeah, like Shabbat is made, it's made for man, not man for Shabbat.
Yes. One time he and his disciples walking through some field, and they were hungry, so it was a cornfield, and they start to take some corn and start to shell the corn, eating this corn, the disciples. And then one Pharisee or somebody came to him and said, you know, you're a rabbi, how you let your followers, you know, are eating on the Sabbath day? So he said, listen, I know about you. You are a farmer, you have cows, huh? If one of your cows fall into a hole on the Sabbath day, will you leave him until Sunday? You know? He says, yes. He said, listen, the Sabbath was made for mankind, not mankind for the Sabbath. So simple thing. So you put the rule before you. But if you know who you are, then you may use the rule may serve you, but you don't use the rule to put it on your head. You know, and constantly showing their, you know, you remember this story, I don't know if it was Mary Magdalene, I think, I don't know. Remember she was chased, a woman is chased by a crowd of people, mostly men, or maybe all men, but no, there's always a few women in there to stir things up a little. And they are stoning, they're throwing stones, they want to kill her. And she happened to run in front of the Lord, and she saw him, and she didn't have anywhere to go, and she felt his feet. And all of them come with their big rocks and everything to stone her to death. That was the custom in those days. And as they're about to stone her, he says, "What's going on here?" You know, they said, "She is not a good person. She has committed a sin of adultery. She's done something wrong there, and her punishment is to be punished by death. This is what is written in our custom." You know. And she said, "Okay, very good, okay, but let the one among you who is without sin throw the first stone." Isn't it? It's good, okay, you kill her, stone her, okay? She's here, stone her. But let the first one to throw the stone be the one who is without sin. And right there, dropping their stones. Because they know if the one throw a stone, he'll say, "Hey, but no, I know him." You know, last year he stole my donkey. It can't be somebody to be so, you know. So if she is so sinful, you be the one who is sinless, then you can throw a stone at it. So they dispersed, but they never forget, you see. You know, that guy who embarrassed us, you know. Let's get rid of him. Simple wisdom. Simple wisdom.
Now it's good because with YouTube you're a bit safer. You can stone the screen. It won't reach you.
At least you're reliable with these type of comments. Smash the screen.
Do you think the world is more ready to listen to these things now? Because still today some women get stoned for adultery. It still happens.
Why you pick on that?
No, just
Everything stupid is still happening. People say, "Oh, but the children." I say, "But why just the children? A whole lot is stupid." You have your favorite cliches and your favorite examples, but you know what? There's wars everywhere. Even where there's no wars, there are wars happening in every room, in every hotel, in every bedroom. How are you going to get rid of it?
In every head.
In every head.
In every head.
Yeah.
In every head, in every bed, the wars are going on. How are you going to stop it?
Isn't it going on because it's going on in our heads, no?
Yeah,
It's the only reason why is it going on still outside, no?
Yes, it is like that. I don't know, because let's suppose we were all awake in that sense. Would there be no more earthquakes? It's a good question. Let's suppose everybody was awake on the planet. Right? Would nobody be killed by a lion or an alligator? Would there be no earthquakes? Would people stop dying? Will there be no more cancer attendants?
let's try.
But maybe there would be
It's a good experiment.
earthquakes or people eaten by alligator, but maybe the wars and like this abuse and all this
Yes.
won't be here.
Yeah.
But the nature still would maybe give some earthquakes, but something else.
And also, if the human kind is awakened, why leave the animals out? They'll have to be awakened too a bit, isn't it? Why should we get the only? Because also the lion needs to be awakened also. The frogs and the tigers, the buzzards, everybody need to be awake. Why just single out the human being have the advantage?
But sometimes you say the animals they don't have satsang, and
Yes.
thing.
It is true. They have to evolve enough to have satsang. In the meantime, they are perfect in another way.
Mm.
But there are still some mind material is there. They have to evolve to the level of stupidity, of developed stupidity, to then have the craving for contemplation. It's not a nice future, is it? If we are where they are already.
Apart from Vibhuti, Vibhuti came to Satsang.
Vibhuti is a good example. Vibhuti is the Lakshmi of our present time. Because she was totally coming to satsang, and there was no doubt about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was absolutely no doubt that this donkey enjoys satsang. Because whenever I even the satsang was, I remember even not Moscow, maybe in one of these Poland, in the Ukraine, she was there watching the satsang on the screen. And having reactions also to some things when her stuff came up, you know. Yawning. She was totally in satsang, and I knew it this also.
I remember one time you and me were walking down, and she was standing in the triangle, and as soon as you came close to her, she started to yawn, and then.
And this is a very strong phenomenon. This yawning is a very strong. Not many people know about it. It's an alleviation of tensions, especially tensions due to our mental habits, emotional, psychological habits. You know, and many times, even when I used to go to church, many people in church, and then the people with them go, like, stop it, you know, like, because they interpret like it's laziness or tiredness or that you're bored. But actually, it is an alleviation. I know you start now.
I start always when you speak about it.
Yes, because it triggers this also. And then like this, it's coming out. Lots of trapped energies are coming out like that.
Yawning yoga.
Yawning yoga. I also was remembering when she first came, she was full of a lot of movement and edginess, a lot of nervous energy and stuff. And as she came one time, I remember inside, she must have yawned 110 times. She could not stop. There was no word, there was no space to put any words in. She was just yawning. And after she came, so amazingly peaceful. To be empty of these energies. Also, sometimes you're making your inquiry. As some clarity comes, an insight comes, you find same thing. More and more it comes. It takes place like that. And she was demonstrating somehow, unintentionally, this understanding was taking place inside her. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Many years ago, when this kind of phenomenon was first taking place for me, and because I knew nothing at all. And after this burst from inside, all these things came very vividly, like an education from inside, to tell me what all these things were like that. Because I would go to some place, like sometime I walk into the bank or something, and everyone in this bank and start to talk like about God, and it was amazing. I said, am I imagining this or what? Because the people were talking, and you know, how are you, and they're very, very nice, and oh, God bless you, and all this kind of stuff, talking like that. And I saw that it was the Spirit of God that was somehow spreading through the place. Because I never make up this. I don't know about that in those days. In a bookshop. Went to college and was teaching in college. Sometimes I start to talk before art class. I would talk a little bit about the project we're doing, and everyone I start to go to sleep and say, oh my God, I can't because the head of the department was the next office, and sometimes she'd come and open the door and go, hello, and looks like surprised like this. And then everybody's And I felt very uncomfortable that she would do this and discover that what's going on. I'm saying, special project. So from this point, I started to feel very uncomfortable. I didn't want it. And even I went to my mother's church. I said, I don't want to go. She asked me to come. I said, let me sit by the door. Because I was afraid that these things, because they're happening in spite of me. I was feeling like that. I wasn't having any intention. I would just sit and it would start to happen like that. And so powerful all these things were happening in those days. I've been to many places, see some injustice happening, and immediately somehow something was present and changed the behavior of people and everything. Even once during the uprising in Brixton, these riots in Brixton, I was in a car driving down the front line. It was big. They were stoning every car in the night and throwing, petrol bombs at all the cars coming down. And we were caught in a line of cars coming down like this, and they were throwing stones at the cars. So nobody can see who's in the car. We're coming down, and as we are passing, they take the stuff, and somebody just pull back. They could not throw the stones because of this, and this power is in you. If you make that your holiness, you're discovering, abandon this false idol of ego. Throw everything onto God. Throw everything into the emptiness. Not to get miracles back. You don't just do it. At a certain point, you just feel, you cannot stand yourself anymore, or somehow you feel this urge inside because you're touched by that inner spark, and it's so powerful. No senses have brought this to you before. No experience has brought this taste to you before. Nothing on this planet has brought this taste to you before. That lights you up from the inside. Shine through your eyes, through your senses, everything. So when you find this, you're willing to give everything up for the first time in your life. You realize, all my life I've been a miser. Because nothing in life has compelled me to give everything up, including my own life. And this gives you something inside to give your whole self up to this. And that was the attitude that happened for me. When I say I walked out of my life, I mean that I gave everything to God. I said, don't test me, because I'll fail, because I don't have any willpower. I'm not this type. I'm not a great meditator. I do nothing at all. I'm pretty ordinary. So anything is to be achieved, you have to achieve it. You give everything back to you, we're going to take care of it. And that worked beautifully for many years. I'm moving in this thing. Don't plan the next day, the next moment, don't plan anything. I was somehow experimenting with my life. Like that. And somehow it led the way. This is where the confidence came to tell each person, don't worry about all these things, don't worry about that. It's rubbish, waste life, waste time. And as I told you about the expression of Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva, they don't of the three, then if you have to choose, let your heart choose Shiva. Vishnu is still engaged with taking care of the world. This is okay. This is also our power. Vishnu is a Vishnu power in us. It's the Brahma power in us. But Shiva say, forget about all of that. Let that go on. But you come to me here. You know me here. That's all I want. Then everything else is fine. You'll be sinless. You give your heart and your mind to the self. Everything, don't you worry about it. I will consume everything, including time.
Friheten är ditt vackra namn. Tryggheten är din stolta moder. Kunskapen din broder. Friden din syster. Kraften är din fader. Tomheten din källa. Yeah.